Before modern treaties, chance sketches and errors drew lines that defined countries. Imagine a world map not as it is, but as it might have been, if not for a trembling hand or a misunderstood river. Our first story starts in the Americas, in the 18th century. The Treaty of Paris in 1783 ended the American Revolution, but as diplomats drew up the new United States, they relied on old, error-filled maps. One British map showed the Mississippi River in the wrong place. As a result, the line meant to define British and American territories was drawn too far west. The mistake handed the U.S. a vast chunk of land today. Parts of Minnesota and Wisconsin exist because of this cartographic error. Let's cross to Africa, where European powers met at the Berlin Conference in 1884. They divided an entire continent using rulers and colored pencils, rarely visiting the lands they split. The lines often ignored rivers, mountains, and the people who lived there for centuries. For example, the border between Gambia and Senegal follows the Gambia River, not because of geography or culture, but because a mapmaker simply traced the river's path. This narrow winding border is a legacy of drawing borders from afar, with little understanding of the land. In South America, the border between Chile and Argentina was almost peaceful until a vague phrase in their treaty caused confusion. The Andes Mountains were supposed to mark the border, but the range is broad and complicated. Mapmakers disagreed on the highest peaks versus the watershed divide. The result? Decades of disputes and a dividing line that still stirs debate. India and Pakistan's border, known as the Radcliffe Line, was decided in 1947. Sir Cyril Radcliffe, who had never visited India before, drew the line in just 5 weeks. Working from outdated maps, he tried to divide millions of people by religion, but the details led to chaos and mass migration. The hurried, map-based decision has forever shaped the subcontinent and continues to fuel conflict. Now, let's look at Canada and the United States. The 49th parallel was chosen as the border from Minnesota to the Pacific, but early surveyors misunderstood the geography around the Lake of the Woods. Their error led to a tiny, easily missed piece of land called the Northwest Angle, a quirk where Minnesota jets into Canada, all because of map confusion. In the Middle East, the Sykes-Picot Agreement of 1916 split Ottoman territories between Britain and France. The line drawing happened in secret, based largely on outdated maps and imperial interests, not on the realities of the people living there. These artificial borders still echo in today's news. Even Australia's straight state borders are the result of hurried map lines drawn before the land was fully explored. Some lines are so straight, they ignore rivers and mountains, creating odd corners and disputes, like the dog fence, running thousands of kilometers because of a simple, early border. From Africa's winding edges to America's forgotten corners, the lines on today's maps remind us, sometimes, the fate of nations was decided not by grand plans, but by the strokes of a pen, the limitations of a map, or a moment's misunderstanding. Follow Lorelight for more stories worth knowing.